Hi everyone, it's Lou from Dirigo Safety. I have a nice briefing for you, so let's get going. Nicely done to the Northern Essex Community College Recruit Officer Class Number 6, who took part in a moment of silence to honor those lost on 9/11. All over the country, we paused on 9/11 to remember the tragic events that day and how it has shaped much of the way we police today. Boston University Police celebrated National Police Women Day on September 12th by taking the 30 by 30 pledge. This national initiative seeks to increase the number of qualified women in law enforcement to 30% of the workforce by 2030. Currently, women make up about 12% of sworn officers and just 3% of police leadership, and this underrepresentation is the focal point of the 30 by 30 pledge. It was a big day for Algonquin PD as they broke ground for their new municipal complex. This has been 40 years in the making, and they are slated to move in next fall. Nicely done, Chief. Also in Maine, they are reporting that since the mass shooting in Lewiston last October, their use of the yellow and red flag laws have increased 15 times more than it was ever used 3 years prior. These laws help to remove dangerous weapons from those considered dangerous, and some think might have avoided the Lewiston shooting if these laws were more widely used and enforced at the time. I see in Manchester, New Hampshire that they have taken the Police Comfort Dog initiative to a whole different level with a Comfort Mini Horse. This mini horse named Millie is part of their mounted patrol, which also includes 2 regular-sized horses. Now, Millie's role is community outreach, and she's able to visit schools and nursing homes because of her small size. She's named after Manchester's Mill Yard, which was once a manufacturing powerhouse. Tewksbury police officer Katrina Valerie is being thanked here by the student that she saved from choking. On September 5th, a school staff member notified School Resource Officer Valerie of the emergency, and she immediately jumped into action, applying the Heimlich maneuver and getting the food to dislodge. Officer Valerie saved the young girl's life that day. And what is this I see? Captain Jerry Congdon retiring after 36 years at Wells, Maine Police. Very happy for you, Captain, and thank you for your service and keeping me and my family safe as we love to travel to Wells each year. The Massachusetts State Police has a new boss with the hiring of recently retired New Jersey State Police Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Noble. The 30-year veteran will assume command sometime in October of the 2,330 troopers and over 600 civilian employees. Now, he started his career many years ago, like many of us, serving as a summer cop for him in Nantucket, Mass. So good luck, Colonel. The Major Cities Police Chiefs Association has prepared a guide and new policy that deals with responses or encounters with UFOs or UAPs, also known as unidentified anomalous phenomenon. Now, at first glance, and seeing that I help write New Hampshire police policy, I thought we might be going a little too far with our policies until I read on that this is not about aliens, though it could be, but more of a chance that there might be an actual call for spy balloons or flying surveillance drones in somebody's backyard or even underwater unknowns. Now, these have been in the news lately, so you know that these types of calls might hit your police department or sheriff's office, so I guess it would be good to have a policy outlining how to respond and who would be a likely follow-up partner in those types of calls. Better to prepare and to have the information ready rather than trying to figure it all out when that type of call comes in. These Dirigo Safety Northern New England Law Enforcement News roll calls offer brief updates on police-related matters across Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and Northern Massachusetts. These are put out every 2 weeks. They include relevant news from and about your departments that you might not yet have heard through your traditional briefings. They highlight all kinds of heroic actions, perhaps some legal updates, notable local crime, and always include valuable training insights. For example, there is some free training coming up. The first is open to all Maine police officers and those allied professionals or non-sworn personnel with police agencies. On October 17th, starting at 8 a.m. and ending at noon with lunch provided, we, along with Maine Health, will present de-escalation techniques and cultural awareness in Tops of Maine with a remote Zoom option if the travel is too far or there is no replacement staff for you to attend in person. The next one is open to all listening to this roll call and is titled Overcoming Language Barriers in Policing. It will be held remotely on September 25th from noon until 1:30 p.m. This webinar addresses strategies for overcoming language barriers in law enforcement. You will learn examples from agencies that have successfully implemented language access plans, explore funding opportunities, and get guidance from state and federal funders. The session will cover promising practices, resources, and technical assistance for language access. It is open to all local, state, campus, and tribal law enforcement, as well as prosecutors and victim advocates. In training that is not offered very often, but important to have, the Maine Criminal Justice Academy will be hosting a 5-day police chaplains course. The law enforcement chaplain plays a crucial role in supporting officers during crises and high-stress situations. This training will include key areas such as the legal liability and confidentiality parts, the sensitivity and diversity, crisis management and stress management, substance abuse, suicide prevention, and so on. To be eligible, the chaplain must be ordained, licensed, or endorsed by a recognized religious body, must be sponsored by a law enforcement agency, and the sponsoring agency must provide a notarized criminal background check and an in-service form. There is more to include optional IACP membership, so reach out to Jim Lyman at the Maine Criminal Justice Academy for more information. Now, I have been asked over and over again about who does property room evidence and property management audits, so I figured I'd cover it in one of these slides. A good reminder and a warning that law enforcement sometimes neglects evidence and property management, risking evidence loss, damaged cases, and agency liability. It is also a good practice to have an audit from time to time, especially when there's a change of command like at the chief's level. Some of the key problems are poorly managed evidence rooms that lead to significant issues that go unnoticed until they become major problems. How about issues that arise from inadequate policies or failure to follow procedures, causing evidence loss, contamination, or even court cases that are dropped? Disorganized, overcrowded rooms increase the risk of evidence mishandling and integrity issues. And new evidence custodians and executives often lack proper training, leading to errors and reliance upon outdated practices. So if you are in need of one, give us a call so we can assess the level of review you want, whether it be a simple and quick spot audit, or maybe you want a deep dive or complete audit that maybe just works to purge some of that old and unneeded evidence to free up some space. We can help you implement best practices, efficient organization, and thorough training to ensure smooth operations and evidence integrity. Some weeks ago, I briefed you on a rash of car thefts happening in the Seacoast area of New Hampshire, many from car dealerships, especially targeting high-end muscle-type cars. I'm happy to follow up that it looks like you caught one of them down in Boston. This is not a secure briefing, so I'll just report the arrest and not how he was caught. But nicely done to the officers, and keep going to get any others. Maine is also reporting a rash of car thefts and the use of clone VIN numbers to help hide the fact that the car is actually stolen. One Maine resident found out that his $80,000 truck that he bought in Texas was actually a stolen truck with one of these cloned VIN plates. Not just happening in Maine, it's happening all over to include Canada. Good advice to be careful of that good deal that offers a high-end vehicle cheap from a private sale in another state. So have that VIN number checked before you buy. Hey, well done to Northampton PD in New Hampshire and the entire area police for keeping things safe while the Vice President paid them a visit. We see from recent events how the security at these type of events can be very disruptive and demanding on the local and state police, as well as the county sheriff's office. I see that Tactical Civics in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont is actively recruiting online and pushing out local ads in newspapers, especially in northern Maine. This is a right-wing extremist group, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Publicly, they claim to teach people how to create laws and participate peacefully at rallies, while others claim they are looking to forcibly destabilize the government and create locally armed militias. Next time, I look to include some promising correctional efforts that have been released, as well as some promotional and hiring assessment center updates. I hear back from many of you, and I'm grateful for your feedback and news. So see you again in 2 weeks. I'm Lou. I hope all is well. Now let's get to work.